Hey, if you're wondering if you can work out ever again without your back hurting, well then listen up because this is for you. So I'll get my face out of the way, but I want to go over something with you on some ways to how you can improve your workout that is going to help alleviate some of that back pain that you could be having from your workout to get a more effective workout and reduce some of that back pain. Now, I'm not going to give you specific exercises, so this might not be what you're thinking it is. Instead, I'm going to go over some techniques on how you kind of can use mind to muscle to help facilitate a better connection with the exercise that you are intended to perform. So you might be surprised that it actually has more to do with you and what is going through your mind than what your body is doing during that movement. So I'm going to go over my little quick list here. You have an aha moment. Your thoughts will play out how your body moves and responds. And the very first thing is by what you think, or I guess it could also be a thought. So when you are performing an exercise, let's say that it is deadlifts, which is a common exercise that most people have low back pain with, during the exercise or even the day or two after. I want you to think of where you should be feeling this or what muscle should be moving as the primary driver. So we know a deadlift is a full body movement, but the primary driver for achieving lifting the weight from the ground up is going to be more of our posterior chain using glutes and hamstrings. So if we know that is the intended muscle group we are looking to target, we can first put that thought there of, I want this to be occurring at my glutes and my hamstrings. That is a very important factor. The next one is visual imagery. You can use this technique to image and visualize the muscle you want to be working for the movement, the muscle that is actually contracting. So visually think of where this action is supposed to occur. So we have the thought, the thought is this is supposed to be hamstring and glutes, and now we have the visual imagery of as we are doing this movement, we are thinking of using our glutes and our hamstrings as a primary driver. We are visualizing, we're seeing that muscle move and contract and pull us up from a position, reaching for the weights and coming back up to a tall standing position. The next would be using our eyes. Our eyes have to look to where we want the body or we want the movement to occur. So where your eyes go, your body will follow. So you can use this for an example. Say you're doing bicep curls. You're looking at your bicep as you're performing the movement, and that's going to help facilitate more of a contraction to that muscle. So we're actually looking at it. We're seeing this muscle work. We know which muscle is supposed to be working, and now we're using our eyes to direct the movement. Super awesome. But say you're doing your deadlifts and you can't actually look at your hamstring and glutes, get next to a mirror. Use a mirror at your side and you can watch yourself perform it. Or straightforward would be most ideal. Even though you can't visually see, you can still kind of look to see your movement happening. If you're using a mirror at your side, but you're also facing this way, sometimes you'll kink your neck to look at it, and then that can throw off your form and technique. Next will be using your hands or using your own sensation. So get your hands on yourself to feel the movement. I love to do this for leg press if I know glutes and hamstrings are going to be a primary driver for pushing something away, maybe even quads. I'm going to be tapping onto that muscle, putting my hand on it, telling myself, hey, this is where I want this motion to be occurring. And the opposite effect, if you want a muscle to not be participating in that movement, you can use your hands to kind of calm it down or tell that muscle, we don't want you working right now. How does this apply? Okay, so think about when you get stung by a bee. It hurts really bad. So your immediate instinct is to put your hand on it. You're like, that hurt. We use our hands as comforting to kind of tone things down, calm things down, tell it to rest, relax. Rather, when we are trying to get somebody's attention, what do? We tap on them, try to get their attention. Same thing you can do for your muscles to help target and have a better muscle contraction. Last thing you can do is using some external cues. And this is where belts, straps, bands are super great for helping you achieve this. External cues using a lifting belt would be you're trying to get core stabilization. So we're kind of placing a tactile cue completely around our core to tell our core or to tell our body to breathe into the belt, pushing entirely 360 around it. We're using an external cue or external item to help us achieve a better contraction, a better movement. This is going to lead to a better training session, having more intensity, and intensity by your focus, your intention. You have specific intention on what muscle to be targeting, and now you have some tools to use in your, set of toolbox to help you achieve a better workout and more purposeful workout. And legitimately more purposeful workout. So now you're not just going through the motions, you don't know what muscle to even be working, you don't even know what this is supposed to be doing. That's going to lead to a faulty workout, or like just a half-assed workout. So why did you even show up there? If you're struggling on knowing what muscle is supposed to be working during what movement, reach out to me, ask questions, but it's also always as simple as Googling it. You can always Google what muscle is the primary driver for this movement, and you have the internet, you have all your resources available right at your fingertips, so go ahead and use it. And last but not least, let's break up with the term activation. You have muscles activated by nerves every day, unless you have some severed nerves where that is not happening. Your glutes and your hamstrings, whatever it is you're looking for, is always activated. So let's break up with the term and think more of how can we recruit all the muscle fibers to achieve this to get a better workout. So if you apply these principles, let's go back to our back hurting deadlift example. Your deadlift could be hurting your low back because you're not actually visually having or not having intention on the muscle that you're supposed to be targeting. We're trying to target your hamstrings and your glutes for a deadlift. Maybe you're thinking this is a back movement and that's the whole reason why your low back's hurting. Or maybe you're not having good intention at all during your training session. So now you can visualize and you can put into practice these principles to take some of that focus away from your low back working, and now we have a target on the muscles that are supposed to be working. Another good example of this for visual imagery I like to do for deadlifts for my clients when I do assessments with them is I have them imagine that they have a knife in between their butt cheeks. And if they lose tension on those cheeks through the whole entire movement, that knife is going to drop and it's going to stab them on their foot, whatever it is, and it's going to hurt really, really bad. So what they do is they have a slight squeeze the entire movement of the deadlift, and now their low back doesn't hurt. Now their body doesn't bother them when they're doing a deadlift. Now they feel it more in their glutes. Now they don't have to arch excessively at the top to be able to feel their glutes working because they have them engaged and they have intention on them the entire time. So put these practices to use and work your mind. Like I love to call this also that mind muscle exercise, because we're using our mind to its fullest potential. In any circumstance, our mind tells our body what to do. And if we don't have that connection, if we're missing out on that, if we're not telling our body what to do, this can lead to injuries, this can lead to decreased performance, and why the hell are you even showing up to the gym? So put these into practice and let me know how it goes.